Last but not least, we have Coach Danny D that's about to come to the stage. Y'all give it up for Danny D. So we have with the shameless plug. You a friend. I was in the back, like I said. That's what friends do. That's what friends do. I hope she get buku here. Okay. Miss Danielle DeTeege, affectionately known as Coach Danny D, inspires audiences through her deep insights, humor. I know you're trying to catch your wife. Don't fall here. Blessings. All right. Deep insights, humor, and unwavering belief that it's possible to create a life with ease. A self-described person who loves processes. Danielle is an expert at helping people turn, once again, passion, projects, and hobbies into structured and sustainable businesses. Come on up here, Diva. I saw you walking. You better walk on up here. Y'all put your hands together for Miss Coach Danny D. You got it, sister? I got you.
Help me out.
I got you.
All right.
That's how they do in the church house, huh?
All right, y'all. So, full transparency moment. I always like to share a story. And for some reason, I was struggling with the story. And this morning, I got the story. And I know I got a lot of familiar faces in the room. Some of y'all don't know me yet, but you'll get to know me in a moment. But if you know me, you've heard about my grandmother, because she's always been an integral part of my life. She raised me, and a few years ago, she passed away. And I went through a very dark period following that. And that's kind of where my coaching point of view comes from. But what I realized this morning was just another lesson that she taught me that I never truly realized. She was 82 when she passed, and she was in hospice care leading up. When she left out of the hospital, the doctor said, "You're going home." Because she didn't want to go anywhere but home. And she was so animate, she made him recite her address, because she was like, no, I need to be clear of where I'm going. And I'm sharing that because she lived her life on her terms. Always did. I can tell a million stories to reflect that. But she always lived her life on her terms. And I didn't realize that that was just one of those hidden lessons that she taught me, that you get to choose. You get to choose what your life looks like. You get to choose what your business looks like. You get to choose what the intersection of that looks like. So I just want you to keep that in mind as we go through the presentation, because you get to choose. And a lot of times when I'm working with clients, they don't realize that. I know earlier, Jennifer alluded to people not knowing that look, and that look is real. When you say, what do you want? People look at you and they're like, what you mean what I want? They don't know what it is they want, and they don't know that they can have the possibilities. So just wanted to frame it from there. So do you own your business, or does your business own you? And I know not everybody in here is a business owner. So you can replace that with your job, your position. You can replace that with your life situation, because sometimes it's not the business that we're under. Sometimes it's that we're somebody's mom or somebody's caregiver. And we have to think about how we are living our passions, and are we being true to living the life that we really want. So that's me. I am a process-driven problem solver. And what that means is I'm the strange bird that loves creativity as well as analytical, and that works together for me. And I like to bring it to my clients. So I love being able to help people solve their problems and see themselves. So a little bit more of me. A lot of these are Sarah's photos, shameless plug. But I am a balloon decor artist, so that's kind of where I started in my entrepreneurial journey. I was a balloon decor artist while working a 9 to 5, and transitioned from that. From there, ended up becoming a coach. It was a kind of natural transition that I kind of resisted very hard for a long time. But I've always been that person that, is there helping people see themselves better. Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna hit it all. All right, I'm not gonna forget Walter. So my following knows Walter. That's the puppy. So I think you said Lafitte. Same difference. Lafitte and Walter could be best friends. That is my self-care manager. So when it's time to get off of work, he flips my laptop. So when it's time to take a break, he comes and lays on top of all of my papers. So that's my pup. That's my family, beautiful husband right here. And I'm also a podcast host. Y'all see I got a posse out here, right? They're not gonna let me forget anything. I do also host a podcast, which is Profits in Pajamas. And so that's where I kind of talk about how to get to this life where you're living something that is fulfilling to you. So, does this sound like you? Do you have an identity outside of your business? That's a big one. I know I can raise my hand that during COVID, I was like, wait, my business closed. What am I supposed to do? Are you constantly worrying about your business? So I don't remember which presentation it was, where we talked about the 24/7. Do you? Yes, Catherine. Do you get to turn it off? Like, does your brain just leave it sometimes? Um, are your interests showing up on your calendar? And we saw that as well in the burnout presentation. Are you showing up? Are you growing, or are you just surviving? So are you just going through the day to day, every day? And has your passion gotten to the point where it's become work? So I know I've been there. I know a lot of other entrepreneurs and professionals have been there. So this is the owner framework, and this is what we're going to go through today. And this is the core of a lot of the programs that I offer. These are the things that I've identified as things that we need to work on as owners. And again, that could be the owner of your life. It doesn't have to be of a business. So you have a worksheet as we go through. We're going to do a couple little exercises as well. So the first one, the O, is overcome your mindset blocks. So identify and address the mindset blocks that are preventing you from stepping into your successful self. So here are some listed. I'm not good enough. Not smart enough. What if I fail? What if now's not the time? No one will listen to me or take me seriously. Somebody else is already doing what I want to do. So these are just some common ones. We all have our personal ones. So I want you to take a moment and write down, what are 3 mindset blocks that are currently limiting you from your success? And if anybody wants to share, this is interactive. So if you want to share, I know a lot of times, my struggle is your struggle, and we can, help each other along that struggle. So what are 3 mindset blocks that are limiting you currently from succeeding? Do we have any sharers?
I will.
Oh, don't look so sad about it.
It's a hard one.
Okay, we got you.
Part of I think the biggest mindset block I have right now is what I have to do to grow my business. And it is so outside of my comfort zone, it's ridiculous. And that is the door-to-door, knocking on people's doors, you don't know them, and you're going in, you're saying, hi, I'm me, and this is my company, and this is what I do, and I think it's the no. I think just, I don't like, nobody likes to hear no, I don't need you, I don't want you, get out, you know, they're not rude like that, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, like just putting yourself out there.
Yeah, and so never in my career, ever, except for where I'm at today, if I gave y'all a card, listen, I still love y'all, I still want your business, I'm just being straight, okay? But in this particular business that I now own, that is my mindset block. It's the actual work that you have to do to put into it, to get out there and, you know, not situations like this, but I'm talking about where you have to go to a cold call. That's
Okay.
the word for it. That's my mind.
Do you mind if I ask what type of business you have?
We're in website development.
Okay.
And even though we do advertising and marketing and that kind of thing, I have talked to so many people across so many industries, and the message is the same. It all starts out, that grassroots, ground floor thing is you got to get out there and, hi, I'm Carla. You're shaking hands and kissing babies and, you know, just doing the thing. And, you know, I don't like that. I would rather people, you just want to put an open sign in the window and they all just come flooding into you. So that's my mindset.
Well, that doesn't happen. Unfortunately, I wish it was that easy. Two things. One, if you don't let people know what you do, then you can't help them.
That is so true.
And there's some people out there that need what you're offering. And if they don't know that you do it, then you can't help them. And the answer is not always no.
Right. But I'm sure that probably everybody in this room can identify with the fact that what you can do can help somebody else, but they have to know they need help. Because if they don't think that they need help, then you're just another face in the crowd. And, it's just trying to overcome that of trying to make people, because you care about people so much. It's like you have a deficit in your business and your life and your world, and I have something that can help you. And they're like, no, not today. And so anyway, it's just,
No, I mean, that's real. No, I think that's real. I think that's 100% real. I think, side note, but the coach and me can't just leave that there. I think that is a real issue and concern, and I think that sometimes it's that you're talking to the wrong people, and sometimes it's that you're not effectively communicating value. So usually when you don't make a connection, it's one of those two things. And so it's looking at which one of those two things is correct, and it could be both. But, so that is something to look at. But what I will say, for the sake of this presentation, so as we move forward, the next part of the exercise, and I'll come back to this slide, the next part of the exercise is to take each one of these things that you are having a mindset block about and create a positive affirmation that speaks directly to it.
Okay.
So think about that right now.
Who was that somebody that spoke earlier, the difference between the I've got to and I get to? Yeah. So
Yes.
As you were speaking that, it seemed to me that would be a positive affirmation. Oh, I got to go out and meet people today. No, I get to get out there and meet some people today. Yeah. So flip the switch, right? Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, I think even more powerful in that specific instance would be, I get to help people today.
Yes.
And so, people talk about affirmations all the time, and I think affirmations are beautiful, but affirmations are most useful when they're tied specifically to what your mindset blocks are. So sometimes, we're sitting up there like, I am pretty, I am beautiful, and maybe that's not your thing. Maybe that's not your issue. And you're telling that to yourself every day, and that's great, but maybe you need to talk to the thing that you really are struggling with. And so that's the next part of the exercise, y'all, is look at what was the block, and now what is an affirmation that can counter that block. And gonna give y'all a few minutes to go over that. I'm gonna go back to the previous slide. But, if somebody wants to share once you get to that point. But so here's the reality. So we have all of these mindset blocks, but the reality is you were chosen to do whatever it is that you do. And that means that you are enough. You have enough to do that thing. And regardless of if you feel like you were chosen by the universe, you were chosen by God, whatever your belief system is, you were put in that path. So own that. Own it. My affirmation is he said so. So nobody can say, well, you're not qualified for this, or you're not smart enough for this, or you're not strong enough for this. He says so. No offense to y'all, but y'all don't outrank him. So if he said so, then I have to continue to move forward. I have to continue to find the confidence to continue to do the things that make me uncomfortable or that keep me blocked. So do we have any sharers on their affirmation? Yes.
Well, I think my biggest block, and this is something that I have put to myself, is that I'm not good enough to communicate in English to my clients. And that I'm going to be judged, not based on my knowledge, my qualifications, but just because of the fact that I don't have the perfect communication skill in English. So sometimes I avoid to try to deal with clients that are English speaking just because I have put that on my brain that I'm not good enough and that I'm not going to be chosen just because I cannot express myself proficient enough for them to realize that regardless if I make mistakes, they're not what I know and what I can do for you. So that rejection, and sometimes if I don't get the best, it's always, I'm the worst critic to myself. So everybody will say, Blanca, you can speak well, whatever, but it is me when I see in myself in the mirror that I say I'm not good enough when it comes to that. And I'm not gonna be able to serve my clients as good as my knowledge is just because I have problems sometimes to communicate. And that has been the worst limited belief and block that I have in my brain, and that I decided this year to try to overcome that, get out of my comfort zone, but I still don't feel confident enough that I'm gonna be able to cross that barrier. And it, like I'm saying, knowledge I have, with my friends and whatever, but when it comes to speak with a stranger, and they're going to put their asset in my hand, I feel that they're not going to trust me just because I'm not professional enough or proficient enough in my communication skills. And that has been huge block in my life.
Can I say one more thing? Hi. I am not very good at hearing people if I can't see their face or their mouth when they're speaking. I could not see you the whole time you were speaking. I heard every word you said. Perfect English, perfect English.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, I hear every word you're saying, and I understand it very clearly. And then you could turn around and say it again in Spanish, and so that's a flex. That's not a hindrance. That's a flex because you're bilingual. So so when you get up in the morning, remind yourself that I am bilingual. Say it to yourself in English and in Spanish in the mirror.
That means you can reach more people.
Yeah.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's me. And sometimes I try to remember, Blanca, now you speak better than when you were in banking and you travel conducting seminars with your broken English. So what's going on? What had happened that who offended me or who put me down that I took that to heart? That now, as I say, in my years of doing real estate, I have avoided, almost 100% to deal with somebody that speaks English just because of that reason I explained before. And that is the truth. I have another company, which the majority are, with my husband, it's an alarm company, and the majority are Americans. And I have all their information, and I have ever called anyone to say, I'm a realtor, I'm here to help. I just do the alarm system, and they don't know that I'm a realtor. Just because I am afraid of crossing that. And I'm being honest with myself, so.
No, I mean, that's the first step. I think the first step is always figuring out what those mindset blocks are. Sometimes it's really good to try to figure out, like, where did that start? Like, what triggered that? And then creating tools around it. So, like, I do a capable and confident challenge, and that's what we do. We go to the beginning and we talk about, like, where is it coming from? What is it? Where is it coming from? And then creating tools to counteract it. And that is one of them, is positive affirmations, but that are tied to your particular concern. So I would sit with that for a little while and sit with, what is it like when you feel most confident? Like, can you think of a situation where you felt confident speaking in English to a client?
It's different because my friend knows me, and they can tell you that I always say the same thing. And so it's easier when I know the individual. It's easy sometimes when they call me and not that I have to call them. When I feel comfortable, they know me, so I really don't care if I made a mistake, if I speak past, present, or future. But for a stranger to go and be me the one that initiates the conversation is very difficult. But I have done just one thing, is that I always carry my name tag upside down. So people, wherever I go in 40 years, it's upside down, and I say, oh, yes, because we were meant to talk today. So,
I love it.
it makes me feel comfortable to just start honest. This has been what has helped me to break that. So, and I recommend it to everyone. Listen to me. It's the best icebreaker you can have. Everybody that you meet will tell you, hey lady, your sign is upside down. Then you need to introduce yourself.
Can I just say something to Blanca? You just encouraged everybody to be
Yes.
and everybody's going to be using that tactic. You just so anybody, you are amazing. You search your interview, English or Spanish, like you said, you rock. You are bilingual. Come on, we all are trying to learn another language. So it doesn't matter because anybody can see that you are passionate about what you do. So just take that first step. Hey, I sell houses. Can I talk to you? Whatever it is, you just talk to a room full of women. Don't know you, and you encourage us to say my name tag is on back now.
I hope one day we meet each other again and you guys will tell me if it works or not.
Next year. I'll share something with you, Blanca, and I do know you, so you'll be comfortable. But really, you may want to sit, like you said, you may want to sit with it and really see. This is not your English.
No.
Here's the way it's not your communication, because oh my gosh, you get that communication. But maybe because this has been my case in the past on my mind block. I don't feel that I'm good enough to do it. It's nothing else but my my notion of my own self-worth. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. I am capable. I'm worthy. I'm, like I told one of my coworkers, I am a bona fide genius, and I should be making a lot more money than I'm making because I will come up with some crazy solutions and they will work. I don't think that I am worthy of achieving those heights. And you know what, being able to look at myself and saying, you know what, that's my problem, really has helped me in the past year to say, you know what, forget that. I've done a lot of work and like forget that feeling and shutting down that feeling and just putting yourself out there. Because it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's scary. And like all of these, again, the ripple effect, your brain's gonna tell you no, your brain's gonna tell you you're not worthy, your brain, and you're gonna run in your little cave and be like, but I'm happy here. No, you're not. No, you're not.
So,
You're right.
a couple of things on that. One, again, identifying it, that's the first step to it. Two, the retrain of the brain. So you have to retrain your brain toward success. And so I actually have a success journal that basically where you're cataloging your success, because my squad don't quit, y'all. I'm waiting for them to pull it out their purse. All right, but where you're cataloging your successes so that you can look back at it, because your mind remembers when you fell down when you were 3 years old, or maybe you misspoke and somebody was rude about it. Your mind remembers that forever. But you did like a million successful things today, and you glossed right past it. It may be something as simple as the printer was jammed and y'all had a fight and you came out, you won. That's a success. That's a success. It doesn't always have to be, I got my PhD. It can be just something as simple as, I got up on this stage as an introvert and talked in front of all of y'all. Success. Success. So you have to start training your brain to continue to look at your successes, and you want to counteract those mindset blocks. But you have to identify them first. And once you know what they are, know that, you can counteract them. Second thing, nobody know what they're doing. Secret. Nobody knows what they're doing. And what I'm saying that to say people have trained and people got education. That's not what I mean. Today never happened before. Whatever you're facing today never happened before. So no matter what experience you have to figure out how to navigate today and whatever comes. You could walk out the door and, apparently it's supposed to storm today, and it be storming. And you got to figure that out because, maybe you didn't have an umbrella this morning. You got to figure that out. So that's what everyone is doing. No matter the level that they are, everyone is figuring it out. And I think sometimes we have that feeling that other people have it together.
Right.
Because we're matching their outside to our inside. We're full human beings and we only see the highlight reel of other people. So, I mean, like I'm not bilingual, but sometimes you go into spaces and you're like, I don't think they understand me. Or I have to learn to slow my speech because I'm a New Orleans girl. So, the commonalities are there. Other people are experiencing those same things, but it's us finding the courage to keep moving forward despite that stuff. And to keep pushing forward and to keep encouraging ourselves, because you captivated the room. So I don't know. I don't see it. I know that that's internal and we all have our stuff, but you captivated the room. And remember that feeling when you're talking to somebody and you feel a little uncomfortable. Or think about that friend that you're comfortable talking to when you're talking to somebody else. All right, I'm gonna keep it pushing, y'all, because I don't want to get in trouble. All right, so the W is workflows. So this is my happy space. I love systems, I love processes, and this is, a one big way as business owners in life. I mean, because it doesn't just have to be your business. Electronic calendars, I would not be able to survive without them. But this is, making sure that you're creating processes and systems that take some of the minutia out of your day. We've heard, I think almost everybody that spoke today spoke about removing the stuff that is weighing you down. That's the stuff. You get asked the same question 20 times in your business in one day, and you rewrite that email 20 times. It's the same email. Save it, copy and paste, like just save yourself that time. And so a lot of people say, oh, well, I feel like you do it all. And I'm like, I do not. I decidedly do not. I accomplish more because I decide what things I'm not going to do. So the question is, are your business operations in order? And that's just a rhetorical, that's between you and yourself. You don't have to tell me the answer. But think about that. Think about, do you have systems in place? And that could, again, like I said, it can be in your family life. What do you have in place to make sure that other people in your house doing stuff and not just you all the time? How have you set that up? How have you removed yourself? So on your worksheet, what are areas you could document or flesh out, either in your business, in your life, that's going to make things run a little smoother, that's going to remove some of the nonsense off your plate? And I'm glancing over at Connie over there because, shameless plug. I mean, maybe you need a virtual assistant. I don't know. So, again, if anybody wants to share, if there's some things that you know right now, you know what? I probably should write that down.
I want to know who the virtual assistant is. Me too.
Connie, she right there. Connie Reshard, she's right there.
I would like your card, please.
Okay.
Awesome.
Look at y'all solving problems today, right now. All right, I'm gonna speed up a little bit because I like the interaction more than us looking at slides. What can you automate? That's the next question. What is it that you can automate in your business? Automation is huge. There are people right now getting emails from my balloon business. I'm here. But they feeling loved, they feeling touched, they feeling nurtured. What can you automate in your business? And then this is a big one. What can you delegate? What can you delegate? Well, we already got you, Connie. We sending some stuff your way, Connie. But I mean, even in your household, if your kids old enough, they can wash clothes. I mean, I'm just saying, we often take on that martyr role that we have to do all the things. Right. And I think we take pride in that a lot of times, and we think that if we don't do it, it's not going to get done right. It's still going to be done.
I am.
It's going to, girl, you're going to control yourself right into tired, right into burnout, right into stress. So at a certain point, you have to let go. I just was going for 2 weeks to London. Everybody lived. Nobody died. They all, Walter, Noah, my husband, everybody, they're still doing good. Everybody ate. I think their clothes was clean. If not, none of my business. All right. So the end. Now, act now. One of the big things I help my clients with is being action oriented. We have a tendency, we got ideas. How many of y'all got an idea that y'all been holding on to for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? All right, and it ain't never left the paper. It's still sitting there. What's stopping you? Okay, so what you gonna do about it? She said something, okay. All right, so on the worksheet, what are 3 things that you've been avoiding that you know you need to do? I feel like I stepped on some toes. You getting an organizer? Okay. No. They got people out there. I'm in the age of, paying for convenience.
You have to think what your time is worth.
Yes.
And how fast they do it versus how long it takes them to do it. So, yeah, it's
Yeah,
a trade-off.
we feel convicted that we have to do all the things, and it's not true. There are people in all kinds of professions that do all kinds of things, and they can speed along the process. And that thing that you've been holding on to for 5 years, you're gonna get your feelings hurt when they finish it in 5 minutes. You're gonna be like, why didn't I ask for help sooner? And then the next one, 3 things that you can take action on next week. Whenever I go to conferences, whenever I go to, these types of events, I write notes and I write arrows next to them. If it's an arrow, that means I got to go do something about it, and I got to do something about it within a week. I had a friend of mine, we would go to the same conference together, and she said, yeah, but every time you go, you always do something with the stuff that they gave you. And I was like, I paid a whole lot of money to go to this conference. I'm going to do something. Like, I at least got to make my money back on what it is. But it's taking action and taking decided action. And you don't have to finish the thing tomorrow. But what's the first step? And be honest with yourself, and don't, I had another client of mine. I said, well, what's your goals? And she said, well, by the end of the year, I'm going to get my business legitimized. And I said, well, what do you need to do? And she said, I got to go to the state. And I said, well, what's the process? She said, I don't know. But she gave herself a year to work on it. And I was like, hold the phone. And I Googled her state, and I was like, so look, you can fill out this thing right here, and it take like 5 minutes, and then you just have to send them a payment. So you still want a year to do it, or you want to? But we do that. We create a narrative in our brain that is so big, and so then we don't take action. So you want to start peeling those down to smaller things, and then start taking action. All right. Oh, that's one of my favorite phrases. Perfection is a form of procrastination. That's reality. Oh, I gotta perfect it. Okay, you could just do it and you can fix it later. Because somebody gonna do it, and then you're gonna be mad. You're gonna look up and you're like, oh, well, that was my idea, and there it goes. So, make sure you are taking action and questioning yourself when you give yourself excuses about not taking action, because we can come up with cute excuses about not doing something that is scary to us. It's fear. It's just fear. But give yourself a small piece and then keep progressing, because success builds success. All right. We did that already. All right, the E is emotional awareness and placement. And I'm not going to go too deep into this, but emotions are normal. Stop telling yourself that they're not. Emotion, stress, anxiety, imposter syndrome, those are all normal things. We wouldn't all experience them if they weren't normal. They are normal things. We just have to be able to identify them and to deal with them accordingly. But stop trying to negate your emotions. And this is what I want you to write on the blank for the E. I will allow myself to be human. Not perfect, not flawless, not self-depriving. Like, I will allow myself to be human. All right, and the last one, the R, rest, relaxation, and recharge. Yeah, I know. I'm the Prophets in Pajamas coach. So this is a big one. And I know, Katie, you were saying before, like, about that guilt about resting. You are your best self rested. You're more creative when you're rested. You are going to be more productive when you're rested. You know how your computer run after it's been running for a while? And then you have to restart it and all of that, and you got to run updates and all of that. That's the same thing with you. You need that rest. You need that restoration. You need to bring your better self. When I try to force something and I'm tired, I drop stuff and I break stuff and delete stuff I'm not supposed to delete. Like you're not operating at your best anyway. So it's best for you, it's best for your business, it's best for the people around you. A not rested self is not pleasant. Nobody wants to be around that person that is like on that, that thread that it's about to break. So you need rest. Rest is a part of the process and it needs to be incorporated in the process. So make sure that you are taking time for your rest. I'm gonna skip the first question because we kind of touched that in the burnout about, what's important to you and is it showing up on your calendar? But I'm not gonna leave y'all without this one. What needs to be removed from your calendar? Because a big part of what you're dealing with as an overwhelmed business owner is the fact that you got 4 million things on your calendar that don't need to be there. Your friend had their 5th baby. Send her a gift card. You ain't got to go to that baby shower. Like, it's going to be okay. I had a friend that she got married, she had 20 events between the engagement and the wedding. Girl, what is your best 2? Because that's what I'm going to. The wedding plus 1. Like you have to be able to stand in that no. We've heard that in almost every presentation as well. You have to be able to stand in that no and not feel guilty about it. And that brings me back to my grandmother. She was unapologetically her. And she didn't care who felt what way about it. So you couldn't make her feel guilty. And understand that as you start to try to reclaim yourself and reclaim your time, there are going to be people that's going to gaslight you. They're going to make you feel guilty. Oh, well, this thing is the best thing and it's in your best interest. But if you don't feel that way, or if you are at that point that you just cannot be there, it's no reflection on the event. It could be an amazing event, but you know what? I'm tired. And so, blessings to you. I hope there's a replay, but I'm not going to be there. So I just want you to really reflect on what you're putting on yourself, how you can reclaim yourself, and how you can reframe the way that you look at your life, because you're entitled to decide what it looks like. You get to choose. And it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. And, the skeptical me of, 10 years ago would never believe that now I could sit and work in my pajamas and, travel and do what I want. And, still run a business, still, have the family life. So know that whatever it looks like for you, it may not look the same, but what it looks like for you and what you hold important is worth fighting for.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna try to get off this stage. I'm gonna need some help now.
The heels on. I got
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let me grab this from you, and then I'll get that. That was great. That's great.
Prophets in pajamas. Y'all make sure that you guys go download that podcast and give the system love. Yeah, so